right, in AWS. So today we are day 2 of Jenkins. Okay, am I audible, right? Is there any disturbance from my side?
No,
No, right?
no, Pawan.
Oh, super.
Yes, everything is clear.
Okay, I will just search EC2. So EC2 virtual servers in the cloud. So in AWS, EC2 is a service which help us to create a virtual machines. Okay, you can create any system like same how we are using Windows system. In the same way, if you want to create this type of systems in online, there are companies are providing. One is Amazon, another one was Azure. So in the Azure, they will call it as, right, your deployment is completed. They call it as virtual machine. Right here, they call it as EC2 instance. That's it. Right. If I connect this, connect via Bastion. I think Bastion is not supported. Let me go back. I will just click on connect, connect. I will copy the public IP address, open my git bash, SSH DevOps easy at the rate. I have given the username DevOps easy itself. Okay. Yes. Password was right. I am inside the. So whenever I log in into the EC2 instance, did I get the same output? Yes or no? Welcome to Ubuntu. Same, right? If you observe, now let me try to create a EC2 instance in. I'm just want to show both are same. Like if you see, you are using Zomato, right, and you are using Swiggy. Both are same, right? Only companies are changed. Their UI will change, but everything will be remains constant. Like for suppose if I want to create a instance here, so just launch instance. Okay, it will select Ubuntu, right? I will choose Ubuntu 20. So T2 macro is more than enough. EKs security group. I will allow all traffic. Launch instance. Okay, go to instances. I will give you a name as Jenkins. Now what I will do, I will just click on its state was pending, connect. I will copy this. If you see, for logging to AWS, it is using a direct PEM file. Here you can directly use username and password. Now I will open new git bash, paste that command, enter. Yes, right. I get the same output. Welcome to Ubuntu 20. Right. It doesn't matter where you are creating your virtual machine. Okay. Yeah, Harish, I'm just showing difference between the Azure and AWS.
Yeah, okay, okay.
So we have created one VM in AWS and one VM in Azure. And now just log in to the both. Both are same. Only the companies are changed. But at the end, whatever you are going to do, everything remains same, right? If you see, I will just update the packages, sudo apt update. Okay, I will execute the same here, sudo apt update. Yes, if I create a virtual machine in Azure, you will not get confused like that, right? But there is one disadvantage, that Azure will give credit of $200, okay, and valid for only 1 month. After 1 month, you need to pay an amount for Azure. But in AWS, he will give for 1 year. You can use for 1 year. Only T2 micro instances you need to use. If you use other instances, yeah, it will be chargeable. You need to pay an amount. Azure, like not like that. It will give $200. You can create anything in Azure cloud. But after 1 month, you need to subscribe to pay as you go service. Then you need to pay an amount. So now let's come back to normal Jenkins topic. So before discussing about Jenkins, I need to explain you about what are the environments, right? There will be dev environment, QA, UAT, prod, this type of, did you heard these terms, right? Did you heard about these terms? Dev, QA, UAT, prod.
Ah, yes, sir.
Do you know about that? What is that?
The environment setup, right?
Yeah, like what is dev, what is QA? Like people will sometimes confuse. I just want to know what is that, dev is what, QA is what. Do you know? Anyone?
Yeah, dev means a developer will set up the code and will start working and collaboratively. QA is like after development is over, QA testing people will work in QA environment.
So,
So,
yes.
and before production, they will move to stage. So once in stage, it's like a UAT. So
Yeah.
if it is good means then they will move to production.
Okay. So dev is nothing but one server. Like for suppose I created one EC2 instance. That EC2 instance you can call it as a dev server. When you call it as a dev server, when developer is using that server. That's it. When I will call as that server into UAT, like QA, if the testing team using that server. So development team have a separate server, testing team will have a separate server. So people will call us dev environment, QA environment. Just people will confuse. So nothing but one server. We are giving a name. That's it. It might be one server. It may be multiple server. Doesn't matter. We will group it together and we will call it as dev environment. Okay. Now before that, I want to show this. If you see, this is my code. This is the feature 1. This is the feature 2. This is the feature 3. Right? Whenever feature 1 is developed, what they will do, they will take this code to the development server, right? In the development server, development team will work, right? They will implement, they will test that. Okay, once it is perfect, then it will go to testing server, again QA team, right? Testing team will can able to test that in test development server itself, but testing team what, no, I don't want to test in your server, I want a separate server, give it to me. So what they will do, they will create their own server. They want to test that this feature 1 in their own environment. That's the reason for development team there will be a separate server, for testing team also there will be a separate server, right? After testing, it's like that every feature will be tested on both environment. Once successful, then it will be came to the staging environment. In staging environment, what we will do, we are going to test for all three features at a time. That's the reason it is called as UAT, or it will call it as non-prod, because whenever you add these two features to the production live, nothing but customers are using this application. Like if you see, if I visit Amazon, right, e-commerce website, I will click on it. If you see right now, whenever I click, and in the backend it is running on one server itself. That server is nothing but live server, right? New releases, which we in companies they call it as production live, because customers are using this. For suppose this link is not working for me, right? This link is not, for suppose, just imagine this link is not working. Then what they will do in real time, whenever it is not working, they will just tell to the developer will fix that issue, they will test again, they will test here as well, then after it will come to staging environment. Once it is perfectly working again, then it will again push to the live, then this process will be solved, this link again start working. So now you have understood this environment concept, right? Why development environment call, why testing environment will call, why staging is nothing but whatever you have written, all things you need to test again, right? Here you have tested separately feature 1, feature 2, feature 3. Now you need to test all together. Nothing but, if you see, if I show you this website, what they have done, okay, they have created new releases, right? They have created movers, they have created best sellers. These three together, they have separately they have tested. Now I need to test three, I need to combine this into one website, right? Then after I need to test again whether it is working or not. So that's what I have done. First I have created basic seller page separately. Then after I have created new releases as separately. Right? Development team has created new releases page separately. Then after they have developed movers and shakers separately. So at the end they are, I need to place three together into one website, right? New releases, bestseller, side by side. What I have done? I have done the same. Side by side I have kept. Still I need to test three are working or not. So what we will do, we will again test these websites are working or not. Just go and log in. Okay, I can able to see this page. Super. Right? This is also working fine. And this is also working fine. So what testing team will do? Testing team will try to test this. So I don't know how they will test, but they know how to test this website. They might test manually, they might do some automation scripts, right? At the end they will test this application. Once everything is perfect, then these three pages will be released to the market. Nothing but now as a customer I can able to see this. I can see the best sellers page, right? Like this. So if you see how these features will be created in real time, because they are going to use a version control system called as Git. So for feature 1 they will create a new branch, for feature 2 they will create a new branch, for feature 3 they are going to create a new branch. So this feature 1 will be tested on dev and test server, feature 2 also will tested, and feature 3 also tested separately. Once it's working fine, they merge to the master branch. From master branch again your total code will be tested, because in the master branch is the default branch where all code will be present. Whenever developer work on the new feature, they will not work on the master branch which have work discussed right last week while during Git sessions. They will create their own branch. They will develop a new feature. Once feature was completed, they will merge to the master. In the same way for feature 2, feature 3. Right, then after they will push it to the master branch. Nothing but 3 folders will be added to the master branch. Then again total will be tested and it will be released to the market. Like this it will happen. But in the olden days they used to test this everything by logging into the server. They used to do it manually, right, and it will take hell lot of time. So that's the reason there is a tool came to the market which is called it as Jenkins to automate this whole process. New tool came to the market which we will call it as a Jenkins. So forget about this Jenkins, we didn't discuss it, but there is some tool available in the market to do this process, like to do this testing easily. So what is the Jenkins? I just given some introduction yesterday, but still before getting into this Jenkins I want to explain one more thing. Okay, I will save this, new. Okay, this is okay, this is GitHub where code was present, right? Whenever there is a code, what we will do, I have told you, right, I need to build this, build nothing but I need to convert that into a setup file. Okay, once the setup file was done, I will deploy it. So this is staging, this is prod, nothing but live. Okay, now I want to explain you about CI by CD, which is very important. In every interview you will get this question: what is CI CD? Continuous integration and continuous deployment or continuous delivery. What is the difference between this? Right? If you see, a developer will commit this code to GitHub. Okay, whenever developer commits a code, right, this code will be linked to like how there is a engine for a train. Engine will be attached to the boxes. So once the train was started, automatically total boxes will be moved along with the train. In the same way, we will set some configuration in GitHub. So whenever a new code is added, automatically build should started. How it will be done, I will show you. You just ignore. Okay, I will show you practically. But right now, just focus theoretical part. If you understand this only, we can able to go to practical part. Right? Whenever a new code was added, alert will be go to server and the build was started. Right? If it is failed, again I need to get a notification. Hey, your build was failed. Okay, build was failed. Again, developer will fix that issue. Again, he will send, right? Again, he will work on that code. He will again update the code. Again, it will be triggered. Again, will be builded. If it is failed, again it will be notified. This will be going to happen continuously. Okay. Now I will search for integration. Meaning. So the action or process of combining two or more things in an effective way. What is integration? To form or unite into a whole. So here what you are doing, your code should be integrated. Nothing but your code will be kept together into one place and your code will be tested. That's it. Now this whole process, okay, which we will call it as continuous integration. Nothing but, yes, only these two boxes. Whenever developer commits the code, it will be triggered and it will create the build. If the build is failed, again it will be notified to the developer. These two boxes we will call it as continuous integration. In the interview, they ask what is continuous integration. So continuous integration is nothing but whenever there is a code was updated in the repository, it will be automatically trigger and build was generated. If the build was failed, it will be notified to the developer. This process we will call it as a continuous integration. That's it. Now if you understand, if you got clarity about this continuous integration, I will tell you about continuous delivery and continuous deployment. Yes, you have understood about this continuous integration, right? You can able to answer in the interview as well, right? If they ask what is continuous integration, nothing but whenever code we got, right, we will build that code. Nothing but we are going to create a setup file, right? That's it. Once the setup file was created, it's a continuous integration, right? You got it? Can you able to reply? Am I audible?
Yes, Pawan. Yes. Please go.
Okay. If you see, this is Python. This is one of setup file. If I go properties, right, it's a .exec file. In the same way, if you are working in Java, you need to convert that into a jar file or var file. In order to convert that, you need to build that code. So what is that build? How we are going to build everything we are going to discuss. That's the secondary. That we are taking that code, we are converting into a setup file. In order to do that, once the setup file was ready, that we'll call it as continuous integration. If it is failed, nothing will happen. Developer again fix that issue and he will change that and he will add that changes. Now once the setup file was ready, I need to test that setup file. Right, I need to install that software. I need to check whether software was running or not. In order to do that, I cannot do this on that particular server. I need to copy that server in, right? That we will call it as, it might be staging environment, right? It doesn't matter. Let me open that image here.
Right.
Right, I just skipped this QA part. I'm just talking about the staging, nothing but UAT, nothing, right? Everything will be merged together here. So same thing I have written here. Okay, staging. Now what I will do, whenever jar file created. I need to copy that jar file and I need to test that application is working or not. So for that what I will do, I will go into copy that into this server and I will test this. This we will call it as, and this process will be continuously happen. Again they will update the new code, again new jar file will be created and it will be deployed into the staging environment. Okay, I will take another color, it will be better. Okay, I will take green. Green is not visible. Red. Okay, this continue as delivery. Okay, this we will call it as continuous delivery because this action is going to happen continuously. That's the reason new word added, continuously. Right, jar file was created, it will be added to the staging environment, it will test it. If it is failed, again it will be notified to the developer will fix that issue. It will then after we will create a one more jar file, that jar file will be again copied and it will be tested. This what happens will be going to happen continuously. That's the reason it is called as continuous delivery. Delivery nothing but we are copying that to server. That's the reason it is called as delivery. So there is one more difference between this delivery and deployment. Right, this is more important. In the interview they will definitely ask what is the difference between delivery and deployment. So nothing but it is under staging, nothing but it is not released to the market. It is within the company, it is ready to release. In between you directly cannot release, right? Like for suppose in WhatsApp nowadays you can able to react to messages. Before 2 years back there is no reaction for the message, right? Before releasing that feature, what they will do, they will test that and they will kept inside the company. Employees will use that. After approvals of everyone, they will directly release to the Play Store. Then people can able to update and use. There will be some features like bug issues, they can directly release to the market. It's very important. But if there is a new feature, they don't release directly to the market. They will keep that in the staging, nothing but non-prod, nothing but it is ready to release. Everything was perfect. Once Mark Zuckerberg confirm, then only it will be released. Right, now you have understood, right, what is this continuous delivery. Continuous integration nothing but the two boxes. Developer commits the code, we will create a jar file, that's it. Once the jar file was ready, your integration part was done. Delivery, jar file will be copied to some server, that's delivery. This two you have understood, right? Now I will explain about deployment. Just confirm you got it, right? What is this continuous delivery?
Yes.
Super. Now developer commits the code, we will create a jar file will be copied to this staging environment. This part we call it as continuous delivery. Right, once the jar file was copied to the staging environment, it will be automatically copied to the production as well. If it is happening like that, then we will call it as continuous deployment. Nothing but it is directly without any approvals, new feature was releasing direct to the audience, nothing but the users, customers who are using this application without any in between approvals, because that's the reason it is called as deployment. Nothing but it is directly deployed to the market. So it should not done. If it is like minor versions, yeah, definitely they can directly add. Like for suppose my WhatsApp is not loading, so this is very important issue, right? Then what they will do, they will directly release to the, they will directly fix it and they will directly release a new version to the WhatsApp in the Play Store. So you forget about it, If these 4 boxes automated at a time, then we will call this continuous deployment. It will be little bit confusing, but okay, these 4 boxes automated together. That's it. If they ask, just tell. You need to explain. This is continuous deployment. So if they ask what is continuous delivery versus continuous deployment, continuous delivery means your code will not be released to the market, it will be ready to release and it is under the staging environment. That's the reason we will call it as continuous delivery. If it is released to the market, customers can able to use that application, the newer version, then it is called as continuous deployment. Right? Whenever developer commits a code, we are going to build that code. After generating the jar file, we are going to copy that into a staging environment. That is called as continuous delivery. Right? What is continuous deployment? It will be under production. So developer commits the code, we are going to generate a jar file, and that jar file will be copied to the staging environment, and from staging environment it will be directly released to the outside world. That is continuous deployment. Okay, now you have understood, right? This concept very important. So these things we are going to implement in a tool called as Jenkins. Save CI/CD 11. Right, you have understood, right? Now I will go to the slide day 1. Yesterday we have discussed, right, waterfall model. Whenever company got a project, they used to follow waterfall model 25 years back. That they used to take total 1 year for completing the project, and there is no intervention of the client, which is very drawback. They will work on testing for 2 months, deployment for 2 months, right, developing the code for 2 months, right. While developing the code, this the remaining team will just sit and play. They don't work because testing phase not started. Development team will work, the testing team will play. Right, once the testing was started, development team will sit idle, they will do chill. So this process is not good, and it's a disadvantages for the company. For employee it's okay, but at the end companies play a crucial role, right? Then after agile model came to the picture, right? And one more disadvantages is, once the development was done, right, everything was done, after developing separate 3 pages, they will merge all code at a time, right? Thousands of code they have written at a time. 2 months, I told you, right? For 2 months development will work on the whole website. Then if they merge together the whole web code, obviously there will be multiple errors you will get. In order to solve that errors, it is very difficult and it will very waste of the time. Anyway, total time was wasted. Two months they have like just written the code. After writing the code, if they combining all the pages together, obviously you will get a issues. Then after agile came to this world, agile said, okay, don't try to create whole website together, try to create slowly. So add one page, then after combine that page, test that page, right? Create a website. It should be visible, that page should be visible and we can able to check that. Then after add another page, like that slowly try to, and it should be very easy, and you can able to show to the client as well, so that depending upon his feedback you can work like this agile software came. So Jenkins story we have discussed, right? Sun Microsystem was the founder of this Jenkins. Then after Oracle was purchased this software and they have given a new name called as Hudson, but the founder doesn't like this idea. He want to make this software open source. Then he has released this tool as a Jenkins and given a name as Jenkins, and he released freely to the market. Then after people used this, and for Jenkins there is a huge hell lot of community support. Nothing but whenever you get any errors, if you Google it, there will be multiple people who are going to help you to solving your problem. That's the reason companies are still using Jenkins, because there is a large community support. So whenever you get any issues, there are thousands of people are ready to solve your issue. You can directly Google it, you can find the answer. But Jenkins was written in Java language. So Java is mandatory. You need to install Java, then after you need to install Jenkins, because in the backend it is written in Java. So I told you right here, if you see, developer will write the code. They will push that code into the Git, right, version control system. What we will do, we will take that code, we will build and package. Package is nothing but jar file. Then after what we will do, we will run some tests, unit tests, nothing but we will test that code. We will do some static code analysis. Forget about it, we are going to learn all these things. Once it is done, once the jar file was ready, what we will do, we will deploy it to the server. Okay, so these things will be happen continuously. In this builds also you will be having day build and night build. Day build is nothing but developer will commits for every 1 hour, right? For every 1 hour, you will do the builds. Night build nothing but on the whole total day. Like for suppose developer has given 10 commits for the whole day. That whole 10 commits will be tested together during night. Right, once it was ready, then next day QA team will work on that. Nothing but QA will test that application. Development team added a new feature. Okay, whenever he done that commit, we will only test that commit. He will add one more file, we will going to test that file. He will add one more file, we are going to test that file. But I need to test for all 10 files together whether it is working or not. So for that it will take hell lot of time. If I start the build now, for completing that 10 files together, it will take too much of time. Then what we are going to do, we are going to schedule that Jenkins job during night after 11:30 p.m. and we will just start that, and the next morning if we come, that job will be completed, right? Then QA team can able to test that total 10 files, 10 pages are working or not. That testing team will going to test that. So it will be little bit confusing, don't worry, you will going to understand. So Jenkins tool have this many features. You can take the Jenkins backup. In Jenkins you will be having plugins, right? You can create a users, and you can add multiple nodes. So what is this nodes, what is this plugins, we are going to learn. In Jenkins you can able to create a pipeline, you can create a freestyle, you can create a declarative pipeline. So these are the things I will discuss. Just observe right now. You can do the static code analysis using SonarQube. You can use the artifact repository, which is JFrog, right? You can build the Java projects using Maven, .NET with MS Build. Okay, just an overview. You can deploy this application, I told you, right? You can deploy the application in the physical machine using Ansible. You can able to deploy, or you can use virtual machine, which is provided by AWS, right? If it is already created, you can use Ansible to deploy it. If the VM is not present, you can use Terraform to create that VM. So, or you can directly deploy it into the Kubernetes cluster as a container, or you can directly deploy into the platform as a service, which is provided by cloud. So deployment process will be multiple, right? It depends upon the company, they will use that process. You can directly deploy into the virtual machine, or you can directly deploy into a Docker container, right? These are the types. I told you, right, we are going to create a jar and var file, setup file. in order to create a setup file, there will be multiple languages, right? Packaging is nothing but creating a setup file. So if it is Python, Node.js, PHP, you can directly run your application from the code. If it is Python or Node.js or PHP, you no need to do compile and all. If it is for Java, right, you need to compile that code. Then Java will create a jar or var file or AR file. .NET, it will create a DLL or exe file. Right, C++, if it is exe file. So if you see, if I show you programs, setup, properties, it's .NET. That's the reason .exe file, .exe format. If it is Java, it's a jar file. If it is Python, you can directly run that application. Okay, you will get a zip file for Python.
But without using Maven tool.
Yeah, for Python you can directly run. You no need to do building and all. For Java, it's a older version. That's the reason you need to compile that code. You need to test that code. But for Python, it's very easy. So for Python, you no need to do any compilation part and all. You can directly run your application.
Okay, bro.
So for code, there will be some dependencies. Right, for Java, there is a Maven tool is available. For .NET, there is some NuGet or MS Build is available to build the code. For JavaScript, there is a NPM. For Python, there is a pip. So depending upon the tool, there will be one package manager. So in order to run the application, Python needs some dependencies. So using pip, you are going to call that dependencies. For Java, there is a Maven tool which will build that code and generate an artifact. Like that, for JavaScript, there is a npm. For Node.js, it's a npm. So you will understand these concepts slowly. Okay, once the jar file or var file is created, you need to keep that jar or var file in some location. That we will call it as artifact repository. So you cannot keep that jar file in the Git, because Git was created only for storing your code. Git cannot able to store high sizes of high MB of data. Right, Git is just created for only storing the written code, not for storing the softwares. So that's the reason for storing software there is separate companies are there. So like that Artifactory and Nexus. What are the jar file or var file you have created, right? You can keep that in this Artifactory or Nexus. You can imagine like Google Drive itself, how we are keeping our movies in Google Drive. Same like that, there is a company called as Nexus which provide you to copy that jar file, kept that safely in some website. Okay, we are going to learn all these tools. I'm just showing an overview. So I told you, right, we need to test that code. For testing also there will be some tools. For Python it's a PyTest. For Java it's a JUnit. For .NET it's a NUnit. For JavaScript there is a Jasmine. Okay, for static code analysis you will be having a tool. So what is that tool? There will be some code coverage. That tool will call it as Sonar Cube. Okay, these are the things. Testing team will do some testing using JUnit tool. Right, if it is Java it's JUnit, if it is .NET it's NUnit, if it is Python it's a PyTest. Okay, you need to just know. You are not going to work on this, right? Sometimes if they tell you to do some testing, you need to know an idea, right? You are not going to write this testing cases and all. Everything will be written by testing team itself. They will give you to test that. At that time, at least you need to know some basic idea, right? For Python what they are going to use, for Java what they are going to use. If you know that, it will be very easy, right? That's the reason I'm just showing an overview. So what DevOps engineer role? Okay, what is your role? What your work? So you need to know how to create this setup file. First job was you need to know how to create this setup file, nothing but build and packaging the code. And you need to know how to run these test cases, unit test from command line, nothing but from CLI. Right, first job as a DevOps engineer, you need to know how to create a setup file, and you need to know how to test that code as well. Okay, there is simple commands. Okay, you know, you no need to worry, there will be simple commands will be there, you need to execute that, it will be tested automatically. And you need to know how to perform the static code analysis. These all things we are going to learn. Okay, what next? Jenkins installation. So I will tell you in the next class how to install this Jenkins, how to work on this. Now you got basic understanding, right? What is this continuous integration, what is that environments, why they call it as development environment, right? QA environment, staging environment, production environment, nothing but it's one server, they call it as, right? They will take one server, then they will call that server as a environment. That's it. If I created 3 servers, I will combine that 3 servers and I will call it as development server, because it is using by development team. Now I will go fastly log into this server. Okay, there is a time. Okay, I'm inside the server now. Sudo apt update, still there is time is there, right? I will try to install Jenkins and I will show you the basic overview. Okay, sudo apt install. Oh, I don't know, I will just search. Okay, Java, enter. Right, whenever you enter Java, enter, you will get some command, right? Just copy paste, that's it. -y, Java will be installed, because Jenkins was written in Java. That's the reason first you need to install Java. If you don't know how to install Java, just enter Java, enter, you will get some command, copy paste, enter, that's it. Am I done any magic? No, right? I just update the packages, sudo apt update, then after I just enter Java, enter, automatically I got one hint to install Java. I have installed that Java. Okay, now I don't know how to install Jenkins. What I will do, I will go and ask to Google, hey Jenkins, I want to install Jenkins installation. So I will go to official website of Jenkins, right? I will go select Linux, because which we are using Ubuntu, right? I will select Ubuntu, then blindly copy paste this. Okay, copy this. Okay, my Java was installed. Let me check Java --- version. This is very important, because Jenkins was written in Java. Without Java, Jenkins will not work. Enter. Then after, copy this. Okay. Then after, update the packages. Then after, install the Jenkins. I will explain this. Okay. First, what it is doing, it is downloading the key. After that, we are adding Jenkins related information into the apt repository. Then by default, apt is a package manager. Using that package manager, software will be installed in Jenkins, sorry, in Linux. So what is this package manager? Just follow my Linux tutorial. Okay, I'm just adding some tutorials there. I will tell you how to install softwares, all these things. Why? So once Jenkins was installed, Jenkins is running on some port. So Jenkins run on 8080 port. By default, Jenkins run on 8080 port. Now, if you see, this is Azure. This is also Ubuntu itself. Shall we do in the Azure server as well? Sudo apt update. Okay, I am showing on the both clouds. You can work on any cloud. In the interview, if they ask you, do you know Azure cloud? Yes, you said, you need to tell, yes, I know, right? I know, I don't know how to install Java. I will just search JVA, enter, right? I will install Java 17 version. Okay, just copy this, paste, enter -y. Yes, install this, right? I am running on the Azure cloud. Okay, here it's a AWS cloud. It doesn't matter. Cloud is just a medium. Your commands, your tools, if you know DevOps perfectly, how to work on DevOps perfectly, it doesn't matter. You can work on any cloud. Okay, now what I will do, I will go click on instances, copy this, copy the public IP address, paste 8080. Okay, so it is telling, hey, unlock this Jenkins. Your password was present in this directory. Go and take that password. You okay? Thank you. I will go take this password. I will go to this, right? Sudo cat varlib Jenkins, right? What is the default directory of Jenkins? Varlib Jenkins. Just remember. Anyway, in future I will going to tell. Very important in the interview they will ask default directory path of Jenkins. It's a varlib Jenkins. Okay. Never. So it will ask for install suggested plugins. Just click on install suggested plugins. What is this plugins? Everything we are going to discuss. Okay, it will take some time. Now I will go back to Azure cloud. Okay, Java was installed successfully. Now I will install Jenkins in this server. So I will go to the official website. Same. First download the key. Okay, super. I'm going to download it. Okay, key was downloaded. After downloading the key, add the information in the apt repository. Okay, I will add it. Once you have added, update the packages. Okay, I will update it. After updating, you can directly install Jenkins. Okay, I will install Jenkins. Okay, Jenkins will be installing in Azure. So commands was same on both the servers. Command will be remain same. Only service, AWS or Azure both are providing a service. That's it. They are giving servers to use. Okay, just give me a moment. Okay, here Jenkins was installed, right? Here also it will ask for username. You can give any name. I will just give DevOps easy. Password is also DevOps easy. Confirm password DevOps easy. Full name DevOps easy. Email address dummy email. Save and continue. Save and finish. Start using Jenkins. Now I will go to Azure. I will copy the public IP address. And it is running on 8080 port, right? 8080. Enter. It is Azure machine, okay? So I will click on new item. In real time, no company are using freestyle project. If you want to run freestyle project, you can do. Anyway, I will show you freestyle as well. But for today, I will show pipeline. Okay, I will just select demo project. I will choose pipeline. Okay. Okay, I will go here. I will just execute try sample pipeline hello world. I will choose hello world. Okay, what it will do? It will just print me an hello world. That's it. Don't worry how to write this. I will explain. Today focus, I just want to run some basic job. Right? Yes. Running on Jenkins, varlib Jenkins. workspace, hello world, right? It has printed a hello world, successful. Like this you can able to create. Now I'm not getting this. So whenever in the interview also they will tell you, so I have installed Jenkins but I cannot able to access Jenkins. How you will troubleshoot? Okay, I will go to this server. There will be some security. You need to enable that port. Okay, overview. Here there will be security group will be there. Let me search for that. Azure, Azure also new for me. Network interface. So network security group. Okay, let me search for network security group. I will go to network security group. DevOps is NSG. Okay. I will add. Okay. Source any. Destination 8080 port. Protocol any. I will just click add. Okay, I'm just given 8080 port access. Now I will reload this. Okay. Priority, what is this priority? In between 100, 200, 300, etc. Let me give 100. Save. Okay. Reload. Yes. Working or not? Now, before that it is not getting. What I did, I have gone to the network security group. I have added a new role and I have given a port 8080 access. For AWS, you are telling for AWS I can able to directly access, right? No, in AWS also there is a security group. Here you call it as security group, there you call it as network security group, right? I have also security group. I have given a directly all port access. That's the reason I can directly access. Here there is no access was given. I have given 8080 port access. Then after I can able to log in. So here also same. Only depending upon the cloud there will be some restrictions. That's it. I will just give sudo cat enter. The process will be remain same. That's the reason I'm telling cloud doesn't matter. Everyone will come to me and tell, hey, I want Azure, I want AWS. People are confusing. Doesn't matter. Cloud is just a medium, right? For suppose if I got a job, they are telling, they are asking Azure cloud, but I don't know Azure. You should not tell that. It's just a tool. Even if you know AWS, you can work on Azure cloud as well, Right now I'm working on a project which is totally Azure. But as we are working on MNCs, you doesn't have access for everything, right? They will give some restriction. So like for suppose I don't have an access to network security group, right? There will be separate security team is there. They will give allow and deny access. So if I am working on some tool, I just work on a tool itself. I didn't have other access. That's the reason I don't know some things. So anyway, I'm going to learn this. So we might not perfect on everything, right? We are going to learn slowly. So like that, I will going to run the demo project in this as well. Then after we will close the session. Yeah, if you have any doubts, just ask. You can able to follow, right? Is there any confusion? Now I'm just asking you, can you able to work on both clouds? If I created a virtual machine on this Azure account, can you able to create the same VM on AWS?
Yes.
Yes.
If I create a VM, new server on this AWS, if I told you
AWS.
to
Yes,
create
you
the
can.
same EC2 instance in Azure cloud, can you able to create it? Here you will call it as instances, there you call it as virtual machine. That's it. I will go to home page, right? Go to virtual machines, right? My virtual machine was running. So I will select this. If I want to remove this, I can directly delete this. Then it will be totally deleted. I will show you. Let me complete this. I will just run some basic job. Then after I will, you need to know creating VM is everyone can able to create. You need to delete that as well. If not, you need to pay an amount. DevOps easy. Password I will give same thing. DevOps easy. Confirm password. DevOps easy. Full name. DevOps easy. Email address. Dummy email. Save and continue. You can give your email ID, but I am not giving because I might get some emails. That's the reason I will not give. So I will go to new item. In real time, no company will use freestyle project. That's the reason I don't want to waste your valuable time. I will select pipeline. Okay. You also try to do the same today. Just go try hello world, save, build now. Your today's task was to install Java, install Jenkins. Did I done any magic? I update the packages. I search for Java. I got a command. I copy pasted. Then after I don't know how to install Jenkins. I go to the official website. I copied this, pasted this, copied this, pasted this. Then after updated the packages, install Jenkins. Did I done any magic? No, right? You can able to do the same, right? That's it. Java project was ready, right? So this is the server from AWS. This is the server from Azure. Can you able to find out by seeing this IP address? This is the AWS server. This is the Azure server. No, right? Everything will be same. Now I will delete this. Okay, apply force delete. Enter. Delete. Resource group. Open link in new tab. In Azure, whatever you want to create, you need to create in a resource group. Switch to simplified view. Right. So executing delete command, it will take some time. Now in the same way, I will going to delete the here terminate. There delete, here terminate. then your VM will be completely removed. Right, this is the resource group. So inside the resource group, I have this virtual network, security group, public IP address, network interface. Once you delete the VM, it will not delete this. You need to delete all this. Delete. So I'm just deleting the security group which is created, right? Public IP address, virtual network. Delete. Don't worry, what is this virtual network? Everything will be covered during Terraform sessions. So what is this virtual network? What is this NSG? So everything I will explain during Terraform sessions. It doesn't matter in Azure, even I don't delete, it doesn't matter because I have $200 already credit. But why I need to waste? Okay, done. Completely deleted VM on Azure cloud. So here also you can check elastic IPs. Public IP is nothing but here we call it as elastic IPs. So AWS is wonderful, right? It will automatically delete it, and there is volumes. Okay, and instances. I will stop the recording.